Welcome to Thoughts Rounded Up. O.C. Marler. I'm going to do an unusual thing to do today for a preacher. Preachers that a lot of times they have these thoughts and they kind of guard them and keep them because they want to use them. And they don't want others to take them and use them. And they hate to have a good sermon and somebody's already got it and preached it before you get there. And illustrations, preachers are very stingy. Preachers that use illustrations are very stingy with their illustrations. And I never have I've just never given illustrations away. Most of the time, I have a few times, but I kind of keep them pretty close to my chest. But I'm 84 years old, and I just decided, and I promised you in one of the first programs, I just promised you that I was going to give away some illustrations ever so often. And so I'm going to do that today. I want to tell you, yes, you heard right, I'm going to do it. I want to tell you about a man that was down on his luck. He was a finisher of fine furniture, antiques. He had done some things even for the Queen of England. He was good at what he did. But he was down on his luck. And one day he was walking along dejected, and he saw a man coming towards a dumpster with a chair that had been beautiful, and a chair that was very, very expensive. He looked at that chair and he said, you know, if I could get that chair, I could repair it and I could sell it. And it would at least give me money to eat on. And so he kind of stepped up, hurried up, and he met the man at the dumpster. And he said, sir, if you're going to throw that chair away, would you give it to me? The man didn't say a word. He just took the chair and beat it out on the dumpster into 100 pieces and picked it up, threw it into the dumpster and walked off. Well, things got worse for the man, and he realized he had real problems, and he was so discouraged that he tied a weight around his back, climbed up in a tree, and climbed out on a limb that was over a rushing stream. He put that weight on him so that he couldn't change his mind when he jumped. But he said he had never thought of himself as super religious. But he said, I know it was the voice of God that said to me, sir, if you're going to throw that life away, would you give it to me? And he carefully climbed down and did everything he could to live for the Lord and to work for God. Let me just say, anyone that might be listening, sir, if you're going to throw that life away, if you're going to drug and drank and do meanness all the time and full of hate. Don't throw it away. Don't throw your life away. Give it to the Lord. You know, I heard a man say, and well, he said it to me. He said, I don't use stories, illustrations. I just preach the word. I said, well, that's good. But I think if you don't mind, I'll just stick with the way Jesus did it. He used all kinds of parables, stories. And somehow or another, it drove the point home. I'm going to use Pastor Mooney's name again. I don't think he would mind. Many years ago, he and I was sitting on the platform, and a missionary was preaching, and he had been preaching about 45 minutes. And he had already passed up several good opportunities to get off the freeway, but he passed by every one of them. It was finally, Brother Mooney, you know, he's always saying something good about people. He never says anything negative, hardly ever. But he leaned over to me and he said, Brother Marler, you know that man has spent his big part of his life overseas. You know there's a bound to have been something happened to him in all that time that he could bring to us and spice this up just a little. You know he's seen a lot of things that would interest us. Well, no one wants to be bored. And I think that's one reason why people like illustrations. And not everyone feels comfortable in doing a lot of illustrations. And some people can take the Word of God and make it live. You know, if you're anointed, it doesn't make any difference. Just bring the Word. That's the truth there. God bless you. Thank you for being with me again today.